Good evening, fellow Zimbabweans. This is yours truly, Blessed Geza, Comrade Bombshell. Today I come to you at a time when our country remains at crossroads. We are continuing with our efforts to deal with Emerson Mnangagwa and his Ugandandas. On 24th of April 2025, Mutapa Investment Fund attempted to deny the 1.9 billion US dollars grant safety from the government. You all saw their statement last week in the press. In some way, they unconsciously admitted to the grant safety from the Zimbabwe Treasury using treasury bills as we told you, but Mnangagwa is protecting them. Instead of being brought to book, they are now enjoying VVIP security treatment from the state as the taxpayers' expense. They also take advantage that their mafia boss, Mnangagwa, is suffering from vascular dementia and losing control of both his mind and government. They are now stealing everything without shame. As they steal, the health sector is bleeding and people are dying. Government workers remain underpaid. The education sector has been neglected. Our roads have become death traps. I could say more. The country is suffering from acute neglect. So, as I promised you, fellow Zimbabweans, a new leadership is coming and coming soon. A leadership that will put an end to all the corrupt activities. A leadership that will respect the Constitution. A leadership that will respect human rights. And a leadership that will ensure equitable and transparent distribution of national resources. The new government will not continue with Joe Bantu, Ubantu, Kujakwe Mumi. Zimbabweans have been saddled with billions of dollars in debt due to the criminal Tagwirei. The new government will recover all the money stolen by these Ugandandas and reduce the national debt. Tagwirei should explain how he got the 35% shareholding in Kuimba, which he later used to steal the 1.9 billion US dollars. He should explain how he acquired the shareholding in a company that they created from stolen assets. Why should the government of Zimbabwe be used to pay these assets that were stolen from the same government in the first place? GDI was stolen from the army, Sadawana from ZFDC, and a handful of gold mines were also stolen again from a United Kingdom company that was in liquidation. Sandawana belonged to the government. How did he end up in Tabure's hands? We know he used his CBZ capital to give a fictitious valuation of storing assets and then sold the company for 5.4 billion to the same government he stole the companies from. We want back the 50% shareholding in GDI, which was stolen from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. Tagwirei and your enablers, Mutuli Mule, George Guamatanga, you don't have share. Please return immediately 1.9 billion in treasury bills to Ministry of Finance. All the interest Tagwirei is getting from the Ministry of Finance, only 1.9 billion treasury bills. 50% of GDI to the Zimbabwe Defense Forces and 100% of Sandawana to ZMDC, Government of Zimbabwe. I would like to thank you, fellow Zimbabweans. I know you are desperate for quick action to remove Emmerson Mnangagwa. Let me assure you, as long as I keep coming to talk to you, it means action is being taken and taken soon. We are simply taking precautions to ensure that there won't be loss of blood during the transition. You have to be patient. You will see the results soon. Our progressive security forces are on the ground as we speak. And time for Mnangagwa to go is fast approaching. Our shutdown continues, and it will not stop until we are done with Mnangagwa and his Ziganambas. Muri Zimbabwe, ndinonzwa misodzi yangu ichida kuchururuka, ndinonzwa ichida kutsemuka nehasha. Kana tiongorora mabirwo andauda kuzokurondedzerai ari kuitwa ufumi hwenyu, including also hwearmy naTagwirei. Right. Vanhu vakawanda munofunga kuti Tagwirei uyu munhu ane mari inoshamisira. Taakubudisa pachena mawaniro akaita mari yacho, nzira dzeuri dzaaishandisa. Chekutanga akanga ane kaservice station kake kainzi Sakunda. Ndokuti kaservice station kako akatokapa futi. Handifuni kuti kakauya mune zvakanaka kaservice station kako. Tava mukaservice station takazonzwa command agriculture yakufanirwa naTagwirei. Ndikati Tagwirei anowana kupi mari yose yokufanira nyika yose necommand agriculture. Uori hwachodopwa hwatotangisa kuwedzera network uri papa yake imari yaipiwa nehurumende ende asikadzoseri mari iyoyo. Right? Haana kubvumira ipapo munhu anonzi Tagwirei. Right? Akaenderera mberi nokudoba makambani ehurumende, makambani earmy kana kuti edefense forces, makambani amwe British akanga under liquidation. But nokuda kokuti network yake yaifurangwa naita Gray, but boss wacho ari Emerson. The network yacho was well oiled. Zvekuti hapana munhu akamuvhungira kuti zvinhu zvichabuda. Tagure iyuyu panyaya yecommand agriculture akaita chikwereti chehurumende chaisvika over 900 million US. 900 million US, hapana kana security, hapana kana chii. Unoshaya kuti munhu uyu aipuwa mariwo chikwereti chakawanda kudaro, right? Zvichifamba sei banda kusaramburai kuti right munhu anga ari behind madhiri esau Emerson, right? Ndakusaramburai zvakare kuti pane makambani akaba kugovernment neku army ndaaya kuarmy, right? Akaba inonzi GDI, right? Makambani eGDI maplatinum reserves akawanda ari alomidaipi naamwe hatisakwanisi kutaura makambani. And chinotishamisa ndechekuti opa muchinguri, right, nana nepera, right, vanova ndivo vanotungamira Ministry of Defense, Minister and PEMSEC, vari kuramba vakanyarara. Hatisi kuziva kuti ndo vasina kuti kufacilitata nobva wapochoko muhumwe, because vari kuramba vakanyarara. But makambani edefense akabiwa, masoja achishupika, right? Amwe makambani akabiwa ndeZMDC, vana Zimbabwe, hapana chakabhadharwa, right? Vana Sandawana yemaemeralds ekumberi kwayo maingonza zvinzi Tagurei amuridzi weSandawana hakuna chakabhadharwa ikoko, right? Ndo pakabva kambani yake iyo yeutsotsi youri, right? Saka Tagurei akazonzi newe Ministry of Finance, shamwari chikwereti chako chai chichagarisa, but maonero angu ndeyekutoti panga pane urongwa apa. Tagurei akati okay, ini chikwereti ichi ndakuchiofseta, ndakutengeserai mashares emukambani yangu emukuvimba, right? Kuti ndiite offset chikwereti changu, right? Saka akaofseta chikwereti chiya, kuimba yacho yasakana kubvisira kuti yanga atova valued at 1.5 billion. Saka in other words, government yangozvibhadhara yoga, uyo hapana kana cent kana chipeneti chakabva kunobhadhara chikwereti, achitosara aine imwe mari. Hazvina kuperera ipapo, akazoti after a year, because iye anga asara ne35% mukuvimba iya. Saka after a year nobva adzokera futi kugovernment, zvikanzi ndauda kutengeserai kuvimba yose. Apa angaudza company yake inonzi CBZ Capital kuzoita reevaluate company yekuvimba. Saka within a year that company yanga iri worth 1.5 billion yakaitwa valuated at 5.4 billion US. Zvikanzi ndakutengeserai ndo pakazo foma kabhu kanonzi Mutapa. Izvi vaizviita vari vese naED, right? Saka pakutengesa mashezi ake ese mukuvimba akabuda ava ne 1.9 billion US yeuri. Saka mune Zimbabwe tinosvika kupi zveshwa tataura nenyaya yeuri, tikataura nenyaya yeuri tikatara kuratidzana uori maipiro awakaita munyika yedu, but ndinoda kuti vanhu ava vanenge vachiprotectwa naED, right? Uyu munhu anonzi Tagwirei ugororo hwake akabva nahwo kure. Iye zvino muchechi chaimu muchechi mungaona munhu anoda kubira vanhu chechi yavo muchechi yeSavana hamuna chakanaka. Ari kuda kuba chechi iyoyo achishandisa mari yeuri kutengera vanhu dzimotikari, kutengera mapastors dzimotikari and so on, right? Then toenda kuti hospital chaichi chinonzi Arundel chava chindorapa vanhu mahara, ndorapa vanhu mahara. Hachizi chake, ndichemukomana anonzi Kereke. Iye manje Kereke wacho vakamufrema, right? Vakamusungisa. Kereke ari mujeri as we speak. Hospital yake vakatora zvechitsotsi. Haana kugumira ipapo. Iye manje ava muCentral Committee yeZANU-PF. Apinda futi through the back door. And asida kugumira ipapo. Ari kuda kutoita president wenyika through the back door, right? This is totally bullshit. It's unacceptable. We will not accept this to happen. Saka mukuona nokudaro chitarisai muone maeffects eupa hwawo, matambudziko aunzwa munyika medu. Iye zvino macivil servants edu, they are getting peanuts, havasi kuona. Pari zvino as we speak, zveshuwa maprofesa, malecturers ekumauniversity edu kana mainstitutions edu of higher learning vari pastrike. Mukaona zveshuwa lecturer and professor akupinda muroad, anenge ambototraya nzira dzakasiyana siyana, but voona kuti hazvishandi. And the best thing kutomboratidzira. And maziro andiri kuita ndeyekuti even mastudents ajoina varairidzi vavo kuti ayo hondo iyi ndeyedu tese, because kana iwe musikafari it means the quality of education yamuchatipa inenge yachipa. Saka isu hamungapiwi kuti mamuchipuwa kuma 2000 iye manje makupuwa 200. it's a mockery. It's a mockery. Chimungu chisina kana grade 7 chinonzi chibvayo chichipuwa ma540 million, right? Ingofamba padhuze namunangagwa. Zvinoreva chii izvozvo? Zvinoreva chii? Iye manje madoctors, right? Masoja, mapurisa, maticha, ndingangoti civil service sector yese iri affected. Ndingangoti nyika yese iri affected. Asi chinondishamisa ndichoti makangonyarara. Murikutirwa namaprofesa, right? Ene zvichizi majoinana namaprofesa nemalecturer mose pathird rapashutdown murega kuchiidzirwa because memuchipaitira your own rights, marights enyu. Saka kana muchichikidzirwa muchaga kuchikidzirwa ireko. Saka ndiri kuti mhuri yeZimbabwe, batanai, endai pashutdown, right? Vana Mnangagwa vaende, hurumende nyuwani ipinde ikuitirei zvakanaka. Tinoti kumalecturers nemaprofesa, pamberi nemwi tinokutsigirai, tinemwi pahondo yamuri kurwisa, yokuti muwanewo masalaries nemaconditions of service akanaka anoenderanawo nedzidzo yenyu. Kuruzhinji rweZimbabwe ndinoziva kuti manolokerwa, but please bear with me. Pane zviri kuitika. Mukaona nchirama ndichiuya pamberi penyu so munokwanisa kufunga kuti pane zviri kuitika. Ndotokutaurirai pane zviri kuitika, and zviri kuitika very soon. Ngatirambei takabatana tobvisa ED nezvigananda zvake, right? Totanga kuvaka nyika yedu sevana veZimbabwe takabatana. Ndatenda mhuri yeZimbabwe. May God bless you. May God bless Zimbabwe. We'll have to fight. We gon' fight. We gonna fight. We gon' fight. We'll have to fight. We gon' fight. Fighting for right. Trash it up in Zimbabwe. We trash it in.
Well. Good afternoon, Zimbabweans. Good evening to some, and good morning to some of you. There we are. We have heard from the comrade himself, Comrade Geza, addressing the nation once again, and encouraging Zimbabweans to come together. And as he always says, as he always does, chronicling the level of corruption that we are seeing in Zimbabwe, which is pathetic to say the least. The amount of money that is being looted, the billions of dollars that are seeing themselves in people's pockets instead of going to the country's coffers, instead of going to the country's purse or going to our reserve bank are enormous. And if that is not enough to make you angry, if that is not enough to make you want to do something, to push you to do something, I do not know what will. The kind of money that we are Uh, Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My apologies about that. I was just saying the level of corruption that we are seeing in Zimbabwe, zvinorwadza. Kana usiri kurwadziwa handizivi kuti chinokurwadza chii, especially when you are seeing other countries like Burkina Faso doing wonders, for their people. And Zimbabwe, with all its 56 minerals that are being plundered and billions of dollars finding themselves into the hands of a few men. If you were listening very well, how people are making money, how easy it is to make money in Zimbabwe if you are linked or connected to Emerson Mnangagwa, then you should be angry, because what we are seeing in Zimbabwean hospitals right now, people are dying because there are no painkillers and basic necessities, and yet some people are getting millions every day. A few people are getting millions every day. If they would channel those millions, into the economy, into the hospitals, into our infrastructure, would be somewhere. But they don't do that. They buy cars for individuals. They buy private jets for themselves. What is going to get us angry, Zimbabweans? But anyway, we just want to do a quick review, analysis of what Comrade Geza was saying, and then other people can also come in and speak their mind. But just taking from what we were hearing, listening to, you can tell that Comrade Geza is a man who is getting information, and the information is key. Information is king. And some people these days even say information is the new money. If you have information, you have everything. He's getting intel from somewhere. Someone is giving him that kind of information. We were there, we knew that there is corruption, but we didn't know where the corruption was coming from. We would hear about the scandals, we would hear about what would have happened when it has happened. But now we are getting into the intricacies of how Tagwirei got his money, is making his money, how Chivayo is making his money. And these people are not producing anything. They are not doing anything. All they are doing is dealing. It's called dealing. Kwitamadiri. That's all they're doing. They get a percentage, they get money to supply, and they get an advance, and they go and supply, and they get their money. They don't produce anything. They don't have, they are middlemen. They are go-betweens, vanyai, but who are making millions of dollars. No wonder why none of them was displaying anything at the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, because they don't have any production that they are making in Zimbabwe. So you can imagine, that that level of corruption, that the richest people that you have in your country are not producing anything, but they are making money every day. If you come here, in America, you have what, the Warren Buffett's, the even the Elon Musk's. You might be an idiot, listen to me. He might be an idiot, but at least you know what he's doing. You see the production that he's making, and they're even employing people. But in Zimbabwe, it's nothing like that. So all I'm just trying to say, tukufamba mbichana mbichana. The Comrade Geza might have his limitations, might have his weaknesses, but he's certainly getting information. He's certainly getting some intel from somewhere. I don't know from where. Is he just getting intel of the corruption? Is he just getting access to information of the corruption? Or he's also getting access to other things that he has not started talking about? And I'm sure he cannot talk about everything. He cannot talk about what kind of access he has. I know the people of Zimbabwe want him to just lay everything out there, that I have support of the soldiers, I have support of the army, I have support of the police force, I have support of blah 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 blah. But we all know what that may lead to. People will get killed. We are dealing with a very ruthless man here in Emerson Mnangagwa. But moving on with our analysis, the information, the intel that we are getting, the mining companies, the Zimbabwe Defense Force companies that were stolen by Tagwirei, that were stolen by Emerson Mnangagwa, and whose money nobody knows where it is going. Those companies make millions of dollars every year, but the money is now finding itself not to Zimbabwe Defense Forces companies helping the soldiers. It's finding itself to a few individuals. And Comrade Geza was asking and questioning soldiers and everyone else, why are you not talking about this money? Because this money is supposed to be helping you. So if there is a soldier who is listening, start asking questions. Why are you allowing someone to steal something that is supposed to be helping you, helping our soldiers, maybe even helping war veterans? But it's not. It's definitely not. And obviously, consequently, it should be helping the people of Zimbabwe. And he talked about patience. That the people of Zimbabwe, we need to be patient with what he is doing, that we need to trust the process. Radunga munhu amene kuti iwo uri kuzvinzwa sei, uri kuzviona sei, but in everything that you do, that we do, we need patience. Some people expected the country to have been turned around, taken, Emerson Mnangagwa gone on the 31st of March. I said it right here on Change Radio that this was never supposed to be a one-day revolution. There are no one-day revolutions. So it was never supposed to happen in one day. It's a process, and that process, I know it's taking longer, and that's the reason why Comrade Geza was now asking and calling Zimbabweans for patience. And honestly, we need to be patient. Now, so we need to be patient, and then he moved on to the issue that we are always talking about, the issue that is missing in Zimbabweans, and that might cost us heavily, the issue of unity. The lack of unity among Zimbabweans is spectacular, to use that word. We are never united, and that's very dangerous. If there is one thing, I hope people can hear me. If you are hearing me, please just say something, because I was disturbed by a call. Can you hear me? If you can just put up something that shows that you can hear, you can. I'm still with you. We're still together. Anyway, so yes, the lack of unity is something worrying, and I hope it's not something that will make us regret, not in the too distant future. What ZANU PF has done, folks. Thank you, Vumbura. Thank you for that, for the confirmation. What ZANU PF has managed to do is that they've managed to plant mistrust among the people, among the citizens. We don't trust each other, and what they've also managed to do is to make sure that we are not together, we are not united. Divide and rule. If people are divided, they can't rise up. If people are not agreeing, they can't rise up. If people are together, if people are united, it is easy for them to agree on one particular thing and say we are getting in the streets or we are staying away. It's very easy. But unfortunately, ZANU PF has managed to put a big division on the people of Zimbabwe, which is what every dictator does. Unfortunately, we are not seeing that. And I'm always saying that we have enough anger within ourselves. We have enough frustration within ourselves that if we were to direct that anger and that frustration towards the real enemy, towards ZANU PF miri, the power that we have and the anger that we have, that combined with the unity, ZANU PF would not spend another day in government. But unfortunately, ZANU PF has mastered the 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 art of making Zimbabweans direct their anger to each other or against each other or on ourselves, instead of directing our anger towards the person who is responsible for for our anger, for our frustrations, and for our suffering. Right now, if you go to any Twitter space, any place, anywhere where Zimbabweans are, we are deeply divided over this issue. So it's very difficult for us to rise up or to come up with anything. If anything, you will find Zimbabweans fighting each other, howling insults at each other, accusing each other of selling out. Each side is accusing each other of going to bed with ZANU PF. But unfortunately, this is interesting. Unfortunately, let me tell you, let me explain this to you. There is a side that is pointing fingers at people, especially myself and others, because we are divided. It's like half the countries supporting this, half the countries supporting that. So we have millions of people that are supporting Comrade Geza, that are saying at least we have one human being in Zimbabwe who is trying to stop Emerson Mnangagwa from his 2030 agenda, from implementing his 2030 agenda. We have one human being out of the 16 million, and that is Comrade Geza. And you can't argue about that. However, you explain it later on, or whatever you want to add on to that, the fact of the matter remains the same, that he is the only one right now who is in the way of Emerson Mnangagwa, who is trying to stop Emerson Mnangagwa. However, he's doing it for doesn't justify that all of us as Zimbabweans, we are choosing to fold our arms. We are not doing anything about 2030. We and to me, that's treasonous. We shouldn't be doing that. How do we fold our arms when someone is threatening to run roughshod over our constitution? When someone is threatening to butcher our constitution? This week, we'll be having chaos at the parliament because we are expecting the bills to be moved. And I don't know. I know that there are some parliamentarians that will stand against it, but I don't know whether we have the numbers to stop Emerson Mnangagwa. If we can't stop him in the streets, if we can't stop him by stairways, if we can't stop him by any other kind of action, I don't know. So we have that group of people that are supporting Geza for what he's doing. And then we have another group of people that is pointing fingers at that group that is supporting Geza, that are saying, why are you supporting a ZANU PF person? Geza is as guilty as all of them. Geza is as guilty as any of them come. And I agree. That's very true. That's very true. But if you are not supporting Geza, if you are pointing fingers, if you are pointing a finger to those people that are supporting Geza, where are your four fingers pointing? They are pointing right back at you. But because by your inaction, by not doing anything, by choosing not to do anything except maybe to point fingers at others, you are also, in a way, supporting Emerson Mnangagwa. That's the unfortunate truth. And that's where we have been put by ZANU PF. We have two sides, and both sides have a ZANU PF in them. They have a ZANU PF in them. So one way or another, you are aiding and abetting ZANU PF. Because if you are not opposing 2030, if you are not opposing in terms of writing on Twitter, in terms of coming here and talking about it, in terms of what you are doing on your Facebook page or on your YouTube, no, we're talking in terms of action. In terms of action, what are you doing to stop Emerson Mnangagwa from fulfilling his 23rd agenda? If you are not doing anything, and you are not doing anything, I mean, if you're not doing anything to stop Emerson Mnangagwa, then subliminally, you are supporting Emerson Mnangagwa. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. Because if you're not stopping him, he is just going to change the constitution. And there we are, 2030. There we are, Mnangagwa monarch. There we are, Emerson Mnangagwa Jr. There we are, maybe the young brother. There we are, maybe Chetarwire becomes deputy president. There we are in deep trouble. I was about to use another word there. But we are in deep trouble. If we do that, if we allow that, I'll go back to what Morgan Tsvangirai once said at one time. Kuti amusati matambura, atisati atambura. He didn't say atisati atambura. Akataura kuti amusati matambura, because he wanted people to be united, and he wanted people in the streets, but people were not doing that. So what he meant then was we need to do something if we are faced with a dire situation like the one we are faced with right now. So what I'm basically saying is ZANU PF has put us between a rock and hard ground. We don't have a choice. One way or another, we're gonna have to hold hands with some people in ZANU PF so that we win this. We stop Emerson Mnangagwa from doing his 2030 nonsense. Even if we move on, you say you don't want to get in the streets and support what Geza is doing. You say, tunowaona ku parliament. There are still other ways of stopping Emerson Mnangagwa. In parliament, ku parliament kwache ikoko, vanhu ve C, ma-MP anenge achinzi atinoti acho ndeevanhu atiri kuziva, because we know kuti kune vanhu vaGeza, we know kuti kune vanhu vaShabangu, we know kuti kune vanhu vanosupporta President Chamisa. That is a given. But how many are they? They will still need support from some ZANU PF members of parliament that do not want 2030, that obviously support Vice President Chiwenga. So one way or another, there is going to be a unity of purpose. There has to be a unity of purpose in Zimbabwe, whether it's at parliament level or at street level or any other level. There is going to be that. As much as you don't want to hear it, as much as you hate it, but that's the truth. You know, personally, I would exchange unity for anything. I would do that, especially if you consider the implications of allowing Emerson Mnangagwa to change the constitution without opposition. I'm telling you, we'll be in trouble. That man is asking you for 2 years right now. That is what he's telling you. But I tell you, I bet you it won't be 2 years. He will suspend elections for as long as you want, for as long as he can breathe. Look at what Mugabe did with us. He saw that. He would also want to do that. You know, say aripo, he will not go. It will be another 5 years, if not 10 years, without elections. So if we cannot stop Emerson Mnangagwa today, if we can't stop Emerson Mnangagwa today, who will stop Emerson Mnangagwa after he emerges from this victorious? Who will stop him? Ndiani anozomira pamberi achitaura sekutaura kuti zvese zviri kuitwa naGeza izvo? Who will be able to do that? I bet none of us, not even myself. Neniwo ndobva ndatongozvigarirawo kwandinenge ndiri ikoko, ndotongozvigarira ikoko, ndotoziva kuti zvati zvavharana, kuZimbabwe kwacho hakuchaendeki, ndotongogara. Because I don't see anyone rising up. I don't see anyone telling Mnangagwa that you can't extend your term. I don't see anyone being able to stand up against him and tell him in his face that he can't suspend elections. I don't see that right now. If we can't do it now, how are we going to do it in 2030? Mnangagwa will be more stronger, more powerful, and more ruthless. I'm telling you this. Tichasangana pamberi hatidi kuzokuzoudzana kuti hanzi takambokuudzai kana takambodii. Tinenge tisingakwanisi kudaro because tinenge tichirwadziwa tese. Inyika yedu tese iyi. Inini the way I was taught from my Form 6 history, Form 4 history, we were taught that the Constitution is sacred. The Constitution is the most important document in a country, and you must defend it. But before you defend it, munozviziva imimi tiri kumatsine, tiri kupi kuzvikoro kwese kwatakadzidza taiimba national anthem ichiri ishe komborera Africa, tichiimba tiripo. What were we doing? We're singing for the flag. We were pledging allegiance to the flag, pledging allegiance to the constitution of the country. And you'll be saying, yes, no matter what, I'll defend my country. I'll defend the constitution of my country, even with my blood. That is what it means. That is what it means to be raising that flag and standing at attention without talking, without saying anything. That is exactly what you're saying. Even those that have gained citizenship in other countries, in the United Kingdom, here in America, even in South Africa, you are made to pledge allegiance to the constitution of the land. That even though you were a citizen or a citizen of another country, but by virtue of America or United Kingdom allowing you to be a citizen of that country, you are now pledging that you are going to defend the country's constitution with everything that you have. You pledge like that. And we had those pledges when we were growing up in our schools, in primary school, secondary school, everywhere. We would sing the national anthem every day. It would be reason. I don't know if they're still doing it, but Mirapa Assembly to pledge our allegiance to the Constitution. What happened to that? Why are we not trying to defend the constitution of the land? Why are we allowing Emmerson Mnangagwa? Why do we want him to just give him a through pass and change the constitution? Change the constitution. That's sacred. Here in the United States, we have gone for years, for decades, without the constitution being changed. But in Zimbabwe, we allow it to happen. Someone just wakes up in the morning and is thinking of changing the constitution. That idiot, was it Garwe? Aidotaura pamberi pevanhu achitotaura kuti constitution tisi takainyora, tinogona kungoibvarura tonyora imwe futi. What nonsense! What nonsense do we get to hear, Zimbabweans, and we remain quiet? Chii chakadaro chinenge ngozi. Unoudzwa nemunhu asina kana kutoenda kuhondo kwacho, kana Garwa havana kana kwakaenda, takuzviziva izvinezvo. Ari kutotaura kuti constitution iyoyo ndogona kuitora ndoibvarura tonyora imwe. And they can do it. ZANU-PF are stupid like that. They say stupid things and they do them. And you'll be thinking, oh, they're not going to do something so stupid. And they actually do it. They can actually do it. We can just wake up tomorrow morning, that constitution is gone and it's written, and they've put anything and everything that they want. Because we are folding our arms, whilst some people are saying we're going to change the constitution. That's my beef. Everything else is secondary. And that should be the primary objective right now of every Zimbabwean that we shouldn't be allowing Emerson Mnangagwa to mess with our constitution. We shouldn't be allowing ZANU PF to change or to butcher or to bastardize our constitution, if we may use that word. Why wouldn't we be united in doing something like that? Why wouldn't we be united in defending our constitution? So the issue of unity that Comrade Geza was talking about is deep, and Zimbabweans, we need to take heed of that. Otherwise, we are going to live to regret. Now, the parliament is resuming. Remember, it was suspended when Comrade Geza had threatened to move a motion there to impeach Emerson Mnangagwa. Now, the information I have is we might have some people from the other side, including our side, our MPs, moving that motion, and we can also expect to have Ziambi and some of his members of parliament moving a motion for the 2030 agenda. As you saw in the reports, he's already saying it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Zimbabweans tiripo takatarisa zvedu. Seriously, tisadaro. And then lastly, the last point that I want to make with regards to this address is our lack of coordination as citizens. Because if everything has failed, you would think the citizens are the last line of defense. And I would have thought by now, we as citizens, so I'm not pointing fingers at anyone because I'm also, part of the citizens. Shouldn't we have in the absence, I have to admit, in the absence of a recognizable opposition in Zimbabwe, because that's where we are. The opposition has been um, decapacitated. I don't know which word I can use. Um, Let me just be polite and say opposition is not recognizable right now, and that's very sad. And also, what is said is even civic society is not there. Civic society has been mummed. It has been quietened down. You know, the POV, whatever bill that was passed, everyone is now afraid to speak. So we don't have any civic society that is active as it used to be years ago. We also don't have any labor. Labor used to be part and parcel of our struggle and of our aspirations to free ourselves. We no longer share the same aspirations. ZCTU has been taken over by ZANU PF. It has been completely captured. The people that are leading ZCTU right now have been given Fortunas, have been given 4x4s. So we don't expect anything from ZCTU. So that one again has been silenced. So nobody is speaking up. Nobody is coming up to say anything. And Atus, I don't know why Atus is quiet. They used to be very vocal, you know. Maybe I need to give a call to those are my colleagues. Just ask what's going on. Why are we quiet? If the lecturers are on strike, why aren't the nurses going back on strike? Why aren't the teachers going on strike? Because nobody's getting what they're supposed to be getting. Nobody's happy with what they're getting. So why is everybody not on strike? That lack of unity and coordination. So I was saying, in the face of the absences of all those key stakeholders, why are citizens not organizing themselves, coming up with some kind of committees that may even sit down, demand a meeting with Comrade Geza and, tell him our demands, tell him what we want, tell him what we expect, because everyone will be saying, oh, we don't want to join the stairway because we don't know who Comrade Geza is going to put after he has taken over the country, after we have marched. Why are we not talking about it? Why are you not engaging? Why are you not coming up with a committee? Why are we not coming up with a group of people that will go and sit down and talk to him? Because that's how it should be. And personally, I believe we are also giving too much credit to Comrade Geza. Yes, he's doing something exceptional. Yes, he's doing something very good, but he cannot pull this off, folks. He can't pull off this without the people, without us, without the citizens. That's the power that we have. Why are we not exercising our power? Why are we not approaching him with the power that we have and just tell him off? Shama mdara, nyaya iri panapa ndeiyi. Wakataura musuyo ya pane address yako, ukataura 2023 didn't happen. And if it happened, Nelson Chamisa won that election. Why are we not approaching him and just telling him that once we march, once we get in the streets, and Emerson Mnangagwa is gone, it has to be a truly people's government, citizens government that will be taking over, or at the very least, a transitional authority that will lead to free, fair, and credible elections. We are not doing that because we underestimate the power that we have as a people. We have the power over Geza. We have the power over Emerson Mnangagwa and his Ganandas. We forget that. That's the unfortunate part. So the moment we are going to realize the power that we have as citizens, we won't be asking who Geza is going to put. It is us who should be telling him that this is what is going to happen. This is what we're going to do. And he has no choice but to agree. Because izvozvi muri kumuona Geza ari kudzamba dzamba. He can't move forward because he is failing to get the support of the people. It shows you, it should tell you, even now as I'm speaking, that as people we have the power. We have the power, people power. All we need to do is to realize, recognize, and exercise that power. Cry, my beloved country. Cry, my beloved Zimbabwe. We have the power, but we are not exercising our power. I feel sorry for my country. Okay, let me see what people are saying. Cynthia Tawadzera, Lino Madamombe, turume twakonyorwa patoilet, turume twakanyorwa patoilet tusina basa, kupfeka suti ye30 mari, hazvireve kuti wane mari. Yaiwa, ndizvozvo tiri varume pamatoilet zveshuwa. Ndochokwadi ichocho, isusu maZimbabweans. Tutori varume pamatoilet, because matyiro atinoita nekusarongeka kwatakaita haaratidzi kuti tiri ana baba nana mai, because tese we are in there. Power rinodarika Geza here, magwara makavanda. Takavanda zveshuwa. That's the truth. But all I'm saying, Jonathan, is we do have the power. We're just not realizing. Geza is not making any inroads in terms of people action because he has failed to get the full support of the people, which means the power is really within the people. Even 2017 would never have been successful without the support of the people. Even if you go back to the War of Liberation itself, it would never have been successful without the support of the masses. And that's where we are again now. So I don't know if there's anyone who wants to say something. Leo, you're there in the background. Are there any people that want to say something? I think I've done justice of the Geza address. Anyone who wants to say something, please bring them up. Right, folks. It looks like I'm not me. I'm just here on video. I know there are people on YouTube, there are people on Facebook, there are people on Twitter, but I'm not seeing anyone. So, folks, as we round up here, I know there are other gatherings elsewhere, but as we round up here, please let's think about this. Let's look in the direction of unity. Let's look in the direction of coming together as Zimbabweans. Because if we do not do that, it means in a way, we are allowing Emerson Mnangagwa to just do whatever he wants with our constitution. And I'm telling you, in a few months, we'll all be regretting this missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity because really all we needed to do was to get in the streets. We have failed to get in the streets all these years because we have never been given the opportunity. ZANU-PF will not even allow you to get anywhere near the streets. But now with Comrade Geza, that opportunity was there. You look at 31 March, all it needed was more people. And we had gone for years, for 4 years, 5 years, if not more, without people getting in the streets. But this time it was almost there. And that's all we needed, just to be in the streets, to fill those streets. Kana vana kucomrade Geza vakutanga kutaura kuti chinhu chedu tenge tiri mumstreet imomo tongotaura kuti hatisi kubuda kusvika taita zvatakawirirana. Like I was telling you, there was need and they still need for demands from the citizens, demands towards the war veterans and some kind of cash talk to tell them that we're not going to take any nonsense like what we did in 2017. That we get in the streets, we march together, and then muziyama kutaura tsvina yekuti chinhu chedu. You know, all those things can be discussed. All those things, all those demands can be made. Unfortunately, like I said, we don't have any organized civic society or organized opposition or organized labor to lead those discussions. But citizens can also come up with their own committees. There's nothing that stops citizens from organizing themselves and doing something like that. Folks, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you as Change Radio. Like we are always saying, please support your people's radio station, the citizens radio station. We are here because of you, and we are always looking for volunteers to come and be part of these discussions. I shouldn't be speaking alone, but it's because we don't have enough people to come and do this. Our WhatsApp channel is getting to over 80,000 now. So you'll be coming to a platform that is already established. Our Facebook page has over 65,000 followers. Our TikTok is the biggest public channel in Zimbabwe with over 130,000 followers. YouTube, almost 60-something thousand. Our Twitter handle, 60-something thousand as well. So why would you not want to come and volunteer and be one of the presenters right here on Change Radio? Please inbox us, get in touch, and we will train you. And you will play your part in the struggle by informing people, talking to people. What a way of contributing to the struggle. Thank you very much. God bless you. Until we meet again.
Change Radio.